Hi guys, so I was having a bit of a tidy up and came across this, a Dark Souls board game expansion pack. And as you can see from this one, yeah, it's an awesome looking dragon in this. So I'm going to stick this on eBay, I'll leave a link down below. But as I saw the dragon, I thought, well, rather than just stick it on eBay as is, I'm going to paint it. So whether or not this will increase its value or maybe even decrease the value, I'm not sure. But if you do play Dark Souls and you wanted to get hold of this expansion pack, the Guardian Dragon, yeah, check out my eBay link, as I'm going to paint this one up, put it back in the box and then stick it on eBay. So as you can see, awesome looking miniature. So I'm not really into the Dark Souls game or know anything or much about it, but this dragon looks absolutely amazing and is a prime target for good old Slapchop painting. The wings didn't seem to fit too snugly in. So as you can see, doing a little bit of filing down. I'm not going to actually glue the wings in because obviously I want to be able to put this back in the box it came in. So I will leave it for you or whoever buys it to sort of glue the wings on. I'm just making sure they fit nicely and as snug as they can in the sockets right up to the hilt there. So as I say, yeah, the detail in this, so for miniatures on games, yeah, it's a far cry from when I was a kid, that's for sure. So with the base is a bit, well, a bit pants and plain. So we're going to change that up. Nice and simple though. Yeah, simple method of changing the bases. I'm just going to glue on some of these little stones. And again, whenever I buy these kind of materials, guys, buying in bulk is so much easier. Rather than buying a small little pack of stones, you're better off going where you can get like a pet shop or whatever, and buy the stones that you'd normally put at the bottom of a fish tank. As these, well, they're about the same price as a small pack, but you get like a 2 kilogram bag. So well worth getting. I still don't, well, I do actually now have a proper sort of spray bottle. But as you can see, I'm sealing everything in. This is a weird way of doing it. It's PVA glue, water, in this oversized syringe. I have now gone out and got a little spritzer spray bottle, so I'll be able to use that in the future. So primed them in black, getting ready to do the dry brushing. But I like mixing things up every now and then and trying different things. So rather than just leaving him all black, I'm going to coat him with some more paint. So I'm going to go with sunset yellow, but I'm not going to paint it like fully in this colour. I'm going to do, it's kind of like a zenithal sort of highlighting, I guess. Although a bit more than just zenithal, because I'm doing basically the whole of the top rather than like a 45-degree angle from the top. Again, this just helps when you're doing the dry brushing and then using different inks, speed paints, whatever it might be. You just get a lot more variation in the tones of colours because, well, he's now primed in 2 different colours. Yeah, wing fell off. Basically, I've got a bit of blue tack in there, but obviously not enough. As I say, I don't want to glue this in place, otherwise, well, he won't fit back in the box. So I do kind of end up just painting the bits separately. But as I say, yeah, it's definitely a prime candidate for Slapchop because there's a lot of detail. Even in the wings, which are like spread out here, you can still see all those lovely veins coming through. So again, you will see this in quite a lot of videos that I'm going to be doing. I'm taking the Slapchop painting, but just changing it a little bit, tweaking it here and there, just to get even more sort of, say, difference in the tones of the colours that you put on the top. So definitely having the 2 different primers definitely gives it that extra look. So definitely darker underneath and obviously lighter, vibrant on the top, which is pretty cool. So I'm not too sure. Say the picture on the book or the box, he is more red, but my favourite colour is orange. So apologies if you wanted to buy this and you wanted it to look how it looks on the box. Yeah, I'm painting him my favourite colour. Let's say good old orange. And this stuff, say if you ever used or haven't used different inks before, go wary with them. They are a lot more fluid than the Army Painter paints. And by fluid, I mean they're a lot wetter. So when you load your brush up, be careful not to put too much on. Because as you can see, yeah, it's lovely and wet. But the great thing with that is, I do find these pool more into those nooks, crannies, recesses, a whole lot more than the Army Painter paints. Obviously, I love Army Painter paints, but I do love the Green Stuff World ones as well, just because they really do pull very well. But say, just be careful when you put them on, because they are a lot wetter, and also they run a lot more. So yeah, be careful with them. So with this dude, there's not that many colours on him actually. I think I only use 3. So for the underneath, I'm going obviously a nice sort of pinkish look, which yeah, again, very, very wet, but goes on really, really well. So when you'll see kind of towards the end of this video, I do the sort of the 3 main colours of this chap, but then I kind of think he looks, I don't know, the colours don't look like they match in any way. So you'll see I do an extra thing, again, taking the Slapchop sort of painting technique, which I absolutely love, and it's given me a whole sort of new sense of painting miniatures, because I absolutely love it. But yeah, you can vary or change or add bits to the Slapchop style. You kind of almost want to see that as the basics of what to do, and then just try new things on top. So say just to see 3 simple colours on this dude. It does look really good. Love all the colours, but they just look, especially the green and then the orange, they just don't sort of tie in that well. So you will see me change that in just a minute. Obviously the last sort of colour to do, and that's just the base. Again, with the Green Stuff World dipping inks, as you can clearly see, yeah, all the lids I've painted the colour that's inside, just because sometimes the paints, well, they look a little bit different to how they should do. So all the lids were primed in black, dry brushed white, and then yeah, painted with whatever colour is inside, just so I can see a true representation of how it's going to look. As I say, love how he's come out. Yeah, nice and simple, nice and quick. Just feel he's a little bit dull and needs a little bit more. So we're going to go over the whole thing with a wash. Again, good old Green Stuff World dipping inks, or dipping, well, washes. Yeah, going to go over the whole thing. This is where I say this quite a lot. I need some new brushes. I've got small ones and then sort of medium ones, and so this is the largest brush I've got. So I'm going to use, yeah, I'm going to use my dry brush. Again, guys, I know this is the old case of not using the right tool for the job, but hey ho, sometimes needs must. And rather than painting this whole thing with a smaller brush, yeah, I'm going to be able to do it quick and easy with the dry brush. So love how this goes on. So because it is a wash, obviously it does mean you can still clearly see the colours that are underneath. But again, this pulls lovely in all those recesses. Just adds another sort of level and depth of colour. But more importantly for that, for me, it seems to tie all the colours in nicely. I say beforehand, the green and the orange, they just looked too separated and didn't look like this was the same sort of creature. But doing the whole thing in the wash really does sort of blend and bring them all in, because then they all have that sort of hue of the red, which I absolutely love. As I say, the difference for me is just amazing. He just looks so much better using the wash than prior to the wash. And again, even the wings, yeah, you can still see the lovely veins coming through. This does seem to add another level of sort of shadows and just depth to the whole thing, which is just amazing. So the only thing that needs painting now are the claws and the teeth and the talons, whatever. So going with a grey, although I was almost in 2 minds as to whether or not to not paint the bits and just leave them. But the more I looked at some of the claws, they had like, well, too much red sort of bleeding into them, especially the teeth as well. Obviously I don't want the teeth to look too nice and too neat, but I think the red, yeah, it's just a bit distracting. So going over with this lovely little greyish colour, but again, obviously this is going to make the teeth look far too, well, turkey teeth. So we are going to go over with them again with a wash. And in this case, it's the Army Painter Light Wash. I use this quite a lot. Going over the whole of the teeth and the claws, talons, whatever. But then trying to keep more of the wash in the area nearer the skin, so it sort of gets a bit lighter as it goes away from the skin. And there we go. Say quick, simple, easy, but love how he's come out. And yeah, the details, like the detail in miniatures is just nuts. From your bog standard plastic sort of counter that you'd have back in the day to having, well, glorious looking miniatures like this. So as I say, I've kept them all separate, so he will be able to go back in the box. Again, guys, link down below if you want to buy this little chap. Obviously everything's in this box, the cards and everything that comes with this expansion. But that is it though, this is an expansion. So if you do want to play the full game, well, you have to buy the full game. But yeah, this little dude, he's going to sort of fit back in nicely. did take me a little while to orientate one of the wings to get it back in, because it's that old case of you get things out of a box, sometimes you can't always get them back in. So yeah, it comes off the base nice and easy. So you just use a bit of the old double-sided tape when I'm painting miniatures, as that does seem to do well to keep them on my painting holders. But obviously they do come off nice and simple as well. So guys, anyone want to see me paint in the future, let me know as well. Obviously I do love painting miniatures and making things. I've got a lot of new videos coming up soon as well, where I'm using the Bamboo Labs A1 printer. Not really been into FDM printing before, but absolutely love it now, and you'll see a lot of videos coming up with that. Also take a look at my second channel, where I'm going to start doing more behind the scenes stuff on how I make videos, how I make a living from YouTube, and a new venture that I'm looking at getting into, and that is setting up a print farm. So yeah guys, check out the links as well to my second channel, which I've had for years but never really done anything with. It's now going to be behind the scenes. So if you're interested in sort of starting a YouTube channel yourself, go check it out, as I'm going to go through, well, all the process of what I do to make videos, edit them, lighting, everything else, as well as obviously the good stuff about getting free stuff. Anyway, I digress. That's this video. There's another video on the screen, guys. Give that a click, see what I do. Although my thumb finger looks really weird doing that, but never mind. Yeah, guys, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Check out the other video that's on the screen. Check out my eBay page, and check out my second channel. Okay guys, I'm going to go now before my teeth fall out. Bye now.